First of all, I do want to say that NPR acknowledges that we were mistaken in failing to cover the Hunter Biden laptop story more aggressively and sooner. Our current editorial leadership.
Wuhan?
We recognize that we were reporting at the time, but we acknowledge that the new CIA evidence is worthy of coverage and have covered it.
Give me a break, lady. I mean...
Hey everyone, sorry for the lack of videos over the past week. As you may or may not know, I was on vacation. I actually haven't taken a vacation in several years now, so it was much needed. Real quick, before we get into this clip, I do have a big announcement, and that is the return of the Dronetek community Discord server, as well as the return of live streams. I've had several Discord servers in the past that have all been taken down by actors who are working to undermine the server from the very beginning. And so this time we're going to do it a little bit different. In an effort to improve the quality of the discourse and general community cohesion on the server, we are asking this time that if you want to participate, you join my Patreon. You can choose to pay as low as $1 a month for basic community access, or $3 a month, which gives you access to me, all the private rooms, all the live stream events, which you will actually be able to participate in, as well as game and movie nights and big news events like political debates. You can find the link for that in the description and pinned comment, and I do hope you all consider joining. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about Bill R's continuing story arc to becoming a Republican, or at the very least, leaving the Democrat Party. This time, he's actually admitting that NPR and PBS aren't just biased, but extremely biased to the far left. And he actually says that NPR and PBS should not be receiving taxpayer money, which is just wild because it's something I've been saying for 2 decades.
NPR and PBS testified before Congress this week amid accusations of liberal bias. Should the government continue to send taxpayer dollars to public broadcasters? Well, a little background here. I mean, they've been after them the Republicans have wanted to get rid of PBS for as long as I can remember. This crowd will probably do it. I mean, I also read my namesake, Catherine Maher, was head of NPR, and you know, she said, we're completely unbiased. Give me a break, lady. I mean, they're crazy far left. So, I mean, I think we're past, my view, we're past the age, really, where the government, first of all, why do we need to subsidize? Why can't we have outlets like this? And we're so polarized. These outlets became popular at a time when Republicans and Democrats didn't hate each other and weren't at each other's throats and didn't think each other was an existential threat. In that world, you can't have places like this, I think, anymore. They have to be private.
Yes! Damn it! Yes!
Yeah, first of all, they don't even need the money. PBS themselves have made a huge business of Sesame Street. It's been known for a long time, going back to the late 90s and early 2000s, that both PBS and NPR leaned heavily Democrat. But in 2011, Project Veritas actually left no mysteries about that after they recorded NPR's fundraising executive, Ron Schiller, calling Tea Party members seriously racist and xenophobic.
He's an asshole.
Then in 2024, NPR's senior editor, Uri Berliner, published an essay in the Free Press accusing the network of embracing a, quote, progressive worldview that undermined its credibility. He cited obvious things like NPR's handling of the Hunter Biden story, or rather lack thereof, and then even bragging about the fact they weren't covering the story on Twitter, which at the time was part of a pretty blatant strategy overall by elements of the government and media to cover up bad news for Joe Biden and influence that election in his favor. He also cited the total lack of ideological diversity in its DC newsroom, which consisted of 87 Democrats and 0 Republicans.
If only they would have left some sort of clue!
NPR then suspended Berliner, then he resigned. And these are just 2 of the more prominent recent stories, but I can tell you that over the last few decades, there have been many. Their current CEO, who was just in hearings, which I'm sure you saw, actually openly said that she sees truth as a barrier to her agenda.
But one of the most significant differences, critical for moving from polarization to productivity, is that the Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
Oh, great.
I'll tell you that I've wanted to see hearings like this involving the entire Democrat state media for a long time. So it's pretty crazy to actually see it happening now. And then on top of that, you got a guy like Bill Maher actually supporting the defunding efforts against them. The fact is, almost nobody outside of left-wingers and Democrats trusts these sources as news outlets. And that's a serious problem, which has basically created two different Americas living in two different realities. NPR and PBS can continue to spread their far-left propaganda all they want, but they should do it as a private company and not with our taxpayer dollars. We all know for a fact that if there was a right-wing equivalent to NPR and PBS getting taxpayer money, that none of them would stand for it for a moment, much less multiple decades. All right, folks, let me know what you all think in the comments, and if you're still here, might as well hit that like button and subscribe. I post content on a regular basis, as well as the return of live streams, so make sure to keep checking back for more. Thanks a lot.